Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, complete stealth, non-lethal walkthrough, and this is mission 3, also known as the bank job. And it's time to go to the bank and make a little withdrawal. We are gonna break in and we are gonna steal the knife so we can go on our quest to take out the outsider, because you need it to be able to kill him. And in this walkthrough I will of course not be killing him, because this is a non-lethal walkthrough, but this is part of the story, so we're gonna have to pick it up anyway. And if you watch the previous videos, you will see that I have picked up paintings to get some money, or to get 800 coins. And I'm gonna use that in this mission to go to the black market and buy some poppy tincture. Because the poppy tincture can be used to sedate everyone inside the bank. And I'm gonna do that because that makes the bank heist a lot easier. You can move around quite freely, because all the guards are sleeping and all you're gonna have to worry about are 2 clockwork soldiers that will not pose any problems at all. And in this video I will also show you how to get the trophies or achievements, if you're playing this on Xbox, known as the perfect crime, for breaking into the bank and stealing the knife without setting off or tampering with any of the alarms. And I will also be unlocking Party Crasher, and that is for sending the vault crashing through the floor. But I'm gonna talk about that when we get there. Now our first objective is to get to the black market so we can pick up the poppy tincture. And this is the longest mission in the game, or the longest video at least. It's not the mission that took me the longest to get through, but it takes a while to get through it, is what I'm trying to say. I've tried to be as effective as possible. That's why I picked up the paintings, because it makes this go way faster. Because another way to get the poppy tincture, which is also a much cheaper way, is to go to an auction, because there is a pharmacy. In the previous yard I was in, if you go down to your left, you will go to the pharmacy and see that it has been closed. And you can go and talk to the woman who used to own it and find out that everything in the pharmacy is being sold at an auction. And if you want to get a trophy, I think it's called Big Time Player or something like that, you can go to the auction and win it and buy the poppy tincture there. But it's a bit more risky, it takes longer, so I'm just gonna pick it up here in the black market, and now we can head to the bank. And also, when we're in the bank, or when we're in the vault actually, there are quite a few safes that you can open in there. I will only be opening the safe that is needed to complete the mission, but you can open all the safes starting left to right. I remember that the code is 011 on the first safe, and then it's the sum of the last 2 numbers combined is the next number in the combination. I have no idea if that made any sense. I can't remember the codes for the saves right now. I recommend just Google it. And if you do it, you will get a trophy or achievement called Obsessive Safe Cracker. So pick that up while you're here. Why not? But now as I said, I'm going to the bank. And I'm gonna blink my way up into this apartment and try to get over there. Getting into the bank can be a little bit difficult, because we need to pick up a whale oil tank to power up a lift that I guess the window washers or some kind of what's called construction workers or something have been using. So I try to blink up into mid-air. Here is a moment, drop a quick save before you do this, because this is risky. You know, I told you have to double click to blink. So you have to do that in mid-air. I think I even touched ground before I blinked. It's a very risky move. It can be quite hard to pull off. You will always take fall damage when you do it. So drop a quick save before. And here's quite interesting moment. Look at that guard down there. Suddenly he will disappear because I did a quick save and then I reloaded that quick save. And he patrols back and forth, and suddenly when I reloaded my game, he was suddenly a bit further down the path. And that is something that also appeared in Dishonored 2. That sometimes when you reload a save, the guard's positions will change. So always remember that when you reload your game. But now I sedated this dog, because this dog can be such a pain in the ass. Because if you use semblance, the dog will still spot you. He sees through your disguise instantly, so that is something you need to know. And now I'm gonna refill this whale oil tank and move it over to the lift where we're going up. And when you're transporting this whale oil tank, you cannot climb, you cannot blink. And that makes this a little bit harder than it would have to be, actually. I think it's quite amazing that you can't climb with that, because you can climb if you're carrying an unconscious body. But for some reason, a little container is harder for Billy to carry. But now, all we have to worry about is this guard. So I put a mark on him so I can see him clearly, I can see his line of sight. And now I'm just gonna wait for him to move over to the other way. And thing to know, I've talked a lot about the RNG factor in this game. Sometimes there are two guards up here. That's why I went on after I had marked him. I moved on with my foresight. Because on my previous playthrough there were two guards patrolling up here. So that is something you need to remember. Sometimes it may be a little bit different. And apparently he decides to sit on that bench forever. Oh, now he's standing up, so we're gonna follow him. And what I like to do is, as soon as I get up to this entrance, I'm gonna move into the left and go behind the pillars, because the guards down in the yard are gonna have a harder time seeing you. And also when you have a mark on an enemy, you see those footsteps on the ground. That big circular thing is where he will stop the next time. So I know that he will move up to that, and it updates, so he's gonna move on further, so I make my move. And I get a little bit lucky because he turns around. If I hadn't moved right when I did, he may have been able to spot me. And this old tank, when you take it out, put it down. Use the square button or the Y button if you're playing this on Xbox. Do not throw it. Whatever you do, do not throw the tank, because it's not completely empty. And if you have played Dishonored before, you know that whale oil is explosive. So just put it down nice and slow and no one gets hurt. And the key I picked up is to a back door to get out of the bank, because I wasn't quite sure which way I would choose to get out. So I picked that up just as a precaution if I wanted to take a back door out. And if you use it, you will come out where the whale oil dispenser is. Just so you know. I will not be using that way to get out, by the way. But now we can go up with this elevator up to the roof. And the reason why I use the roof as an entry point is so I can use the poppy tincture to sedate all the guards inside. And up on the roof there are 3 guards patrolling. One over here on the right, one in the middle of the roof, and one over by the entrance. So we take out her first. And I'm not quite sure if guards can get eaten by rats in this game. Since there is no clean hands trophy, there is just that Agent of Mercy trophy. it wouldn't really matter since I unlocked it after mission 1. But just for consistency, I place her up on the roof. So now we're gonna move over to guard number 2. And the last guard is usually always standing with his back towards you, so you shouldn't have any problems going down and choking out this guy. So we place him up on the roof where we put the first guard. Just keep him safe from the rats and other vermin that can may be around. We put him down right there. Gonna be interesting for them waking up in the morning with a headache and wondering what they were doing last night. And now we have the last guard. Drop a quick save before you take him out so you don't get unlucky and he turns around and stares you right in the face. But as soon as we have choked him out, all the guards up here are gone and we can drop in the poppy tincture and head into the bank. And one thing to know when you sedate the guards using this item is that it doesn't work like choking them out or using an electric burst. If you make too much noise, if you start running or if you walk upright or bump into them when they're lying on the ground, they will wake up. So be careful. Always crouch when you're inside the bank and don't bump into any guards lying here. If a guard wakes up and you have to sedate him, you will negate the perfect crime trophy.
I need to stay quiet.
But this is basically the only guard we're gonna get close to, I think. So I'm just gonna go up just close enough to activate that button. And first thing we have to do when we get into the bank is we're gonna head into the main control behind the desk and unlock all the doors, actually. So we blink in through that little window and we can head down here to the main controls. And I blink down on the lamp and down on the ground. You can choose to just press certain buttons to unlock certain doors, or you can press that big red one and unlock them all. And there is actually no reason why you shouldn't unlock them all, because no one will notice that you're in here. At the end of this mission you will see that one alarm was rung. I think that happens automatically since the vault starts crashing down through the floor. You cannot do anything about that. Or at least I think that's what happened. In a previous run I did the exact same strategy as I do in this walkthrough run, and it unlocked both Party Crasher and the Perfect Crime. So don't get worried, or if you get the trophy you will know that you have succeeded. And going up on these lamps and blink just as I do, because there are two of those, they're called arc pylons or something, you know, those big spools that send out electric currents. So if you're too close to them, they will blast you and kill you instantly. So blink up on the very edge of that lamp and stay behind the desks. And now we're gonna use the foresight to blink through a window. And here we have our good old friends from Dishonored 2, the Clockwork Soldiers. Remember what a pain in the ass they were in the second game? Well, they're not such a big pain in this game actually, because first of all they only see in front of them. They don't have that eye in the back of their heads. So as long as you're behind them, you're completely safe. They will not spot you, but they don't pose a very big threat in this game. I think they are used very little in this game. But you need to use foresight to get through that wall of light so you can blink in behind the window. And that is also a new function in this game, that you can blink through windows or through gates as long as you can get the marker behind it, and you can do that using foresight. So now I'm not gonna rant on about that any longer. Instead we're gonna focus on finishing this mission. So now we have gotten into the director's office and we are gonna steal some things in here. I'm gonna steal her pouch and we're gonna go and pick up yet another key actually, and also a few different things. So we go here and activate this button so we can open up her secret little room thing. And we can pick up the vault key. That's what we're getting here. I forgot for a few seconds. And I'm having a real hard problem getting the key and not reading her diary. And also, I don't know if I mentioned it in a previous video. In this guide, I am not using any runes or bone charms. That is something that's consistent since in my previous videos. I think the bone charms and runes are random in this game, just as they were in Dishonored 1 and 2, so I didn't want to use them. There is no need for them. You don't actually need to use foresight and semblance either. You can go through the game without those and still be completely stealthy. But I decided to use them because it makes the game easier and they are given to you as part of the story. You don't have to unlock them yourself. And if the game gives you a tool, I think use it. But now we're going up into the main control room. And here we're gonna pick up a tool so we can release the vault and send it crashing right through the floor. And there is also an arc pylon in this room over to my left. So that's why I'm blinking in here. Because first time I came up here, I had no idea there was an arc pylon in here, so I got quite surprised when I suddenly heard that, you know, that buzzing sound when electric starts charging up, and a few seconds later I got blasted and killed. And here is, now we have the tools so we can unlock the screws of the vault. And we need to get in through that hatch right there in front of me. And you see the arc pylon in hanging from the roof. So I'm gonna head into this main room, drop a quick save before you do this, because the very second you get down through that hatch, you're safe from that thing. It will not shock you as long as you get into that little hatch. So we jump down, and now we can start releasing the vault. And the way to release the vault is you have to open this hatch. You have to press the key again to put in the tool, and then you have to press it yet one more time to release the brake. And you're gonna do this on all the brakes holding the vault up. I think it's a bit overdone. I think why not just one button press? Maybe two. But no, they decided to go for 3 button presses for every brake. But as soon as you have released the last one, the vault goes plummeting down. You will not see the trophies unlocked for me because I unlocked them on a previous run. There was quite a delay on the perfect crime trophy. I was actually halfway through the sewers before that trophy popped. So if you haven't gotten it when you get this far, just wait for a few seconds. If it doesn't unlock, I'm not quite sure why, but maybe look it up online. It worked perfectly for me. If it works for you or it doesn't work for you, please let me know in the comments. It would be awesome of you. But here we have the knife, the blade we came here to get. And I'm gonna pick it up. As I said, if you want to unlock the rest of the safes, you can do that and get Obsessive Safe Cracker. Which is also, I don't know if you're a trophy hunter or achievement hunter like I am, but it's always fun if you can pick one up while you're in the neighborhood, so to speak. And now we're gonna head back out. And now all that remains, actually, of this mission is to get back to the dreadful whale. And the only hard part about getting out is leaving the yard or the front yard of the bank, or it can be a little bit difficult. Because there are quite a few guards patrolling out here. You see, I came out where the guard or the guy that where we picked up the key was what I was gonna say. And the technique I use to get out here is I'm gonna summon the elevator down again, or the worker lift. And you cannot send this lift up and down as much as you want. or indefinitely, because it does drain the whale oil tank. I was quite amazed first time I realized it actually did drain it, because I got stuck halfway up. And that was quite an awkward situation to be in. Because I couldn't get up to the roof and it was quite far down to the ground. But I managed to get out, but that is something that's good to know. Make sure that you're on the lift when you start heading up again, because you will drain the whale oil tank. And now I'm gonna blink down on one of these lampposts, just to get a better position to get, because I'm gonna head over on the right side of this yard, and you can see there are wolfhounds down there, there are guards down there, and sometimes guards are very attentive in this game. Because in Dishonored 1 and 2, it seemed like guards never ever looked up. But for some reason, they changed that in this game. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes they will spot you if you're sitting above them. So that is also something that's good to keep in mind. But now we got them past the hardest part. And once again, I have a tendency to sometimes press one time too many when I'm blinking, so that's why you see a random blinking marker showing up in mid-air. That's just me slamming buttons, so never mind about that. And now I've got them past all the hard parts of mission 3. Because all now that remains is heading back to the dreadful whale. As I said, the only part that can be a little bit tricky is getting through the courtyard of the bank, because sometimes you may get unlucky that one of the guards decides to, I don't know, stretch his back or stretch his neck or something and looks up and sees an assassin sneaking around on balconies. But this is simple. This is basic stealth 101. And that's something I really like in this game series. I know I talked about it before, but this blinking ability, or the blinking ability overall, I'm not super fond of the displace ability, and I absolutely abhor and loathe Emily's far reach ability in Dishonored 2. That was atrocious. That was absolutely terrible. It did have a much longer reach than Corvo's blink did, which should have made it a better power. But if you have played Dishonored 2 and you've tried using it, you'll know that it tries to latch on to surfaces at complete random. So I thought it was extremely unreliable to use. Because the similarity between displace and blink is that you get a marker straight in front of you. When you move your aim, the marker will move with you. With far reach, it was roll the dice, hold your ass and hope for the best. Because it could go for surfaces, it could go for windows, it could go for the ground, it could try to crawl up your own nose. And it was extremely frustrating to try to use if you were in a hurry. If guards were coming your way and your far reach wasn't cooperating, you would get caught. Stupid game design. Or stupid ability design. But anyway, at least it's not in this game. And once again we have the mission end screen. You see, there was one alarm rung. I don't know if it happened on my run where I got the perfect crime trophy. If it happens for you and you still get trophy, please let me know in the comments. It would be awesome. But I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.